everybody. I just wanted you to see a little bit of Derbyshire outside. It's absolutely freezing cold, so excuse me that the pictures aren't perfect, but the lovely Sarah's managed to do that for us. So very warm welcome to our first USA Facebook Live. And the garden's not at its best at this time of year, and it's been such an inspiration for so much of my crafting. But I'm hoping that after this you might share some of your gardening pictures with us, because it would be really exciting to see how in so many different states in America your gardens will look so different, or I guess you call them yards, don't you? So my name's Stephanie Weightman, and for those of you that don't know me, I've been a crafter at Create and Craft for the last 17 years. And but craft's in my blood. It's something that I've always done, and so many of you are just regular friends that it's a real pleasure to actually see you today. So I wanted to make a couple of cards for you. We're going to do a giveaway, which I think will be absolutely fabulous. We'll tell you more about that at the end of this little piece of video, and just start to get to know each other a little bit more. And our USA Facebook group has been a very small group of people. We wanted to open it up to everybody on Facebook. So we've now got this fabulous Facebook page, and it's your page as much as it is ours. So share the things that you're making, say hello to us. Lots of the other presenters are going to be dipping in and out. You're going to meet some of your favourite guests. If you've got questions, we'd love you to share those with us. And I just want to give you a massive warm welcome. And today I'm in my own home because, of course, we're in lockdown in England and Scotland and Wales and Ireland. And so I've come from the office here to be in a nice open room. And Sarah, our lovely social media lady, is here with me. She's holding the camera quite a long way away. But it's good to have your company. So we'll do some shout outs as this show goes on. But first of all, I want to show you some of the projects that the teams have made, because they are exquisite. And this is actually, and I thought it's a very apt name for a kit at the moment, because this one's called You're Always in My Heart. And it shows you, I'm just going to show you how beautiful this is, how dimensional and how exquisite the design is. Now, you might be looking at it and thinking, wow, that's a lot of dies. There isn't a single die on this that's been used for this card. It's actually a paper kit. So that's one of the designs. And one of the other things that I'd like to do over the next few months is work with you, because I know your card sizes are a little bit smaller. So I want to do some that are a little bit smaller, some that are a bit flatter, and use all of those, not just techniques, but design requirements to challenge the way that we design the kits. So that's going to be interesting working together. But please, please share your makes and share your gardens, your yards, your pot plants, just your flowers, your nature. Share all of that with us. So I'm going to talk through a couple of the cards. I'm going to talk about the layers, the techniques, and why we've done what we've done. So this one, first of all, just while you're having a clean look at it, has got a very, very simple matten layer. And all that we've done there is taken the white card blank, and the green matten layer that's been cut from plain white card has been used as the base and the canvas for the design. And then, when you take a look at this, in the paper kit, you're going to find a lot of these paper curls, these design edges, and they're particularly there for you to be able to tuck the flowers in. So the flowers, each of them have quite long stems. A lot of them are very long stemmed, so that they will tuck in behind. Then we've got the tags. These are on these little leather laces. The sentiments are delicate and they're very discreet. And this kit isn't about shouting the message. It's about shouting nature and the fact that you're always in my heart. You know that. You just need that little sentiment. So that's another one of the designs. Here's another one. Now this one's interesting because the background here, the actual canvas, the foundation, is one of the envelopes, and it's been snipped into to utilise the beautiful design that we've got down the side. And then again, the tags, the message, just a note to say. And I think this year what's left of it will be sending lots more handmade Christmas cards, but also just picking up the phone every now and again, saying hello to a friend, or just dropping them a card is absolutely what it's all about. And yes, I've already mentioned, for those of you, hello, who've just joined us, you're hearing there, that's Darcy barking. She's actually here with Betty, they're playing outside, and I think they might be wanting to come in, but they'll be fine for a little while longer. So before I actually get on to showing you how to assemble a card, I'm just going to show you a couple of other elements. And these are featured quite heavily in the paper kit, and they look like they have been die cut. But in fact, what we've done is taken the inspiration from the tattered lace designs and dies we've got and actually put together some faux lace mats and layers. So I'm just going to pop those to one side and show you the contents. And this launches next week. It's a paper kit, and in here, wow, talk about beautiful florals. You have got some amazing flowers in this collection, and each of the flowers, and this is where it's really exciting, each of the flowers just literally fills the sheet and challenges that professional manufacturing process. So you have got thousands of these beautiful flowers in the paper part of it. So that's one part. A nice thing about that is you can build bouquets. You do one design, you think, actually, next time I'm going to do that, I'm going to put some poppies in it or some cornflowers. And then the paper kit itself. And this is really, of course, so you've got some of those paper flowers in there. But it's really an ode to all the things that are texture. So the corrugated card, this is actually not real corrugated card, it's a print, but it's also cleverly die cut, so that will pop out. Then we've got the printed papers, we've got these little tags, and well, in fact, they're little pieces of antiqued tape. You know when you make a photograph or you do a picture and you put brown tape on the back, and then over the years, the corners start to peel, the edges come up, and it just starts to get that really aged look. That was the inspiration there. And then this faux embossing, so clever with the way Becky's designed that for us, giving us the opportunity to do all the best things with it. So you're getting a few sheets there. We've already talked about page curls, which are incredible and great fun to work with. And then you've got these, wow, look at this, cutting into it. So that's actually, the piece will pop out, and it pops out here, you can see, there we go. I've got another pop out piece there. And when the kit was finished, I went back to it and looked at every single little bit of spare space. I went, where else can I give you another border or another piece of decoration, because that was going to make such a difference. And then we've got the text and that old-fashioned lovely embossing, that faux embossing. And look how big this kit is. It's huge. So much in here with the textures and the linens and all the different backgrounds. And then the colours, rich and really luxurious, but lending themselves to being able to complement each other. And I think it makes our card making, our paper crafting, so much easier when we have 3 shades in a colour story. So whether you start with the light on the outside or the light on the inside, that delicate frame that you get. Let me just line these up and show you what I mean. So by putting on just the very smallest of that dark frame and taking the light colour to the front, it gives you a really, really rich look. It's quite elegant, but it's also delicate. I change this round and I go with the very dark on the outside, just the tiniest little pink on the inside, and then that light pink to the outer edge. It's a different look, it's a different feel. And it really here, we have got a picture framing effect with that very fine, elegant finish. So all of this is going to get popped to one side. Remember, this is just the start of what you're getting. You're also going to get the envelopes in here, and we are going to do a fabulous giveaway where somebody is going to get to win this. And the envelopes and the inserts are quite special. So I didn't want you to have a plain insert. I wanted it to have some texture like we've got here. We can still write on the texture with a strong black pen. But look at how, if I take this across, and let's just show you the effect that you get. Imagine that this is the card and you've just opened it to find that inside. It's so pretty. And it is so beautifully designed that it makes you sit and want to look at all of the flowers as you read the message. And that's what this was all about. That, and then the complimentary envelopes. So here, these were, again, a little bit different. And the way that we make these, they're pre-scored, and the score lines go from these little V's on each end. So it's very easy to just fold that in. If I do that on all four sides, as I'm working round here, and one of these Facebook Lives we'll actually do in my craft room. I'm doing some furniture renovation at the moment, and the house is pretty upside down with lots of different stuff going on, and there's pieces of furniture all over the place. And so it's a little bit full, but I promise I will take you in there on one of these. So first of all, let's take out the bottom tab, fold in the sides and bring up the top with the bottom. And now as I bring down that top, you can see how this story just sort of starts to go through the design. And then on the front, you've got the perfect place to write your message. Now, if we wanted this to be a box envelope, because some of these cards are quite big and there's a lot of depth on them. So what do we need to do? Well, the first thing that we need to do is actually create another score line. And that score line, it's really important that it sits between where the V is and the top of this edge here. If it goes past that, there will be nothing for us to glue onto. So I'm going to suggest that we split the difference and it goes somewhere in the middle. So just to do that, rather than using a ruler, which I would recommend if you're doing this at home, I'm just going to use my eye and guide it in there. And what that will do is when I lift it up, it gives me just the enough of a box. And I'm still left with enough when I've repeated that all the way round for it to overlap and us to actually seal up the envelope. So if you want to make them into box envelopes, that's how we go about it. So let's move all of these. So apologies to whoever does win this kit, because you are going to get one of them that's already partly scored. And I'm going to come on to the demonstration that I've got for you. So let me just move those out the way. And I'm going to do another demonstration on another kit that we've got coming up later on in the week. I thought it'd be quite nice on some of these Facebook shows to actually show you not just what you've got coming up, but a recording of something that you could make so that you've got ideas for later on. So here, taken a piece of white card and a piece of that green card. Fold it back. For here it's a centimetre, about ½ an inch is a good measurement. And just going to pull away the red liner tape. And this piece of card is going to create the front of the actual card itself. So I'm just going to slide it in here and let it catch at the top, in the middle and the bottom before I fold it down and press that down firmly. So we're left with a really nice, strong card. Okay, so now we can assemble the front of it. Oh, and something else I wanted to just mention about greeting cards. I don't know whether you've ever noticed, but when you buy a card from one of the stores and you open it up, sometimes the edges of the card are not directly, or they're not perfectly level. And it's so that it's easy for you to open it up. They call it the leading edge. And I know that's something that we specifically have here in the UK. I'm not sure whether you guys do in America, but with the size of some of your greeting card companies, I imagine you probably do. But that's why you would occasionally end up with just a slight edge showing, so that when you open the card, it opens easily. It's just a little bit of information for you there. So this one has been cut from one of my envelopes. And remember, the other thing I'd say to you, when you get those, don't forget to take a template of them and cut them out of wrapping paper. Size them up for all your big cards. Also, what about cutting them out of just plain copier paper? Because these are almost too beautiful to use. You might want to have them the other way round, and I'll just show you this. Because imagine if this was your envelope and it was like this, and what happened was your card goes inside and you've got your pattern inside the envelope. So when you take the card out, you're left with that really pretty pattern inside. So don't think about them as having to be the pattern on the outside, think about them both ways. Okay, so let's assemble this card now. So I've got my design here, and the butterfly, I've got one of them flying in one direction, one of them flying to the side. But it does work if I choose to actually put it down to the bottom, or I were to put it up to the top. I think it really only works on the right side, the top or the bottom. Left side, the butterflies look like they're doing some kind of nosedive, so that wouldn't be my first choice. Or I have to say, I have made cards like that, but purely by accident in the past. So just taking off some double-sided tape. Now this is what we call finger lift, and love this product. The sticky glue runs down the middle of the tape, but you're left with just enough to get your finger underneath so that it makes it easy to lift it up and take it off. So simple and easy to work with that I would say to you that would be always one of my first choices for actually working with. So nice and flat there onto my card. And we tend to use a lot of foam tape over here in the UK. I know that you guys like things quite flat. So it's personal preference really, but I think the dimension it's the way the light plays with it when it's on the mantelpiece or the shelf or the windowsill, just makes it look really special. So, hello to everybody, those of you that have just joined us, and it's really, really good to have your company. Hoping that over the coming weeks we're going to do more and more of these, and I'll be able to, because our social distancing we can sort of manage a little bit better, I'll be able to do some special calls with you and do some call outs as well. But I'd really just like to say a massive thank you to everybody for those of you that have joined us, because it's really, really special to have your company. Tell your friends about us, please. Tell them about this mad old woman who lives in England who wants to talk to you all about crafting. Then we would really love, love, love for you to join. So, because I've got this beautiful border down the side, I really want to make sure that this part of the design comes up to the top, and I'm fitting it up on that top corner. I've got a panel here, and this one's just been popped out from the die cut shape, and it's been popped out, and I've got this decorative edge around the outside. I've done that for lots of reasons. One of them is so that you don't have to think about cutting straight. The other thing is it's a very on-trend look and feel for card making at the moment. It also gives us that shabby look, and that's a particular favourite of mine personally. And that faux finish, this effect as if it is actually being embossed is really quite clever. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to put this on straight. I'm actually going to put it slightly offset. And then I'm going to take the lace panel that I've got here, and I've got lots of choices. Do I want to take it up to the top? Do I want to have it down at the bottom? Do I want to put it over a corner? How would you put it? Where would you put yours? I'm going to let mine come over the corner, and I'm going to show you then what I do with the flowers. But before I stick them down, let's take a look at some of the things. And I want to get rid of this piece where it's just cut off. So I'm going to put that piece of lavender there so that it looks like it's coming round and up the card. I've got a tag here, which I'd like to have coming across the edge of the corner. And I've got a little message. And this one says, "Dear friend." And I'm going to put it across the edge of the tag. So it's just holding that tag in place. And then I'm going to build up a little bouquet along this design. And I love the fact that we've got these lovely long stems. I'm going to take it right off the edge so it's bringing in the lace and the colour and the design. And I'm just going to tuck that one as if it's growing up the side. My little butterfly is going to go on the top there. And we've got a very pretty and very lovely card with the lace element and the design taking us around the edges. So let's do another composition. So we'll take those off. Of course, I've already stuck my squares down, so I'm going to leave those where they are. This time, I'm going to take the lace right across the middle. I'm going to have the tag just dangling from the bottom, coming over that corner. I'm going to put my sentiment across my tag with my little butterfly just there. And then I'm going to look at how I'm going to build this bouquet. And this bouquet is going to come right over here. So I'm going to bring up these flowers. So I've got the flowers coming out and up and across. And we're getting a completely different look. And it's great that you've got these little pieces, and that's just going to go across as the corner as if it's a piece of tape, just holding everything in place. Again, a totally different look. And one last one for us before I stick it down. Well, as I stick it down. So this time I'm going to take the lace and I'm going to put it in vertically. I'm just going to put that panel just as it is there. Let's just bring you to the bottom so that you're level with the edge of the greenery. I'm going to take these flowers and I'm going to have them all as if this bouquet is just hanging from the bottom of my tag. So let's put the stems on. We'll put all of the flowers on here. So I'm laying them on top of each other, building the design up. So it's like we would be drying our flowers. You know when you've got a lot of them and you want to dry them, and they're all like that. And then I'm going to take this piece of tape, and the tape is actually going to hold it all down. And then I've got my little message, which will go up there, and my little butterfly, which will go in amongst the flowers. So I've done this here as if they're all being taped to the top of the tag, and they're just suspended and all hanging down from the side. Lots of different ways of using one set of elements from a huge paper crafting kit. And remember, this is going to be one of our giveaways. So it's pretty exciting. I hope you join us with this. So I'm just going to stick these pieces down. Let's have a look and see where it's going to go. I am going to think about using my card as a tent card. So instead of it being opening the way that you would expect, I'm going to use it as a landscape card or a tent card. And then let's tuck the tag in so that that comes down from the edge of there, which is an easy one for us to do. Then we're going to pop that so that it's just over the edge of the lace. Then I'm going to put my little sentiment here, I don't think you can hear it over there, but the birds are chirping in the garden. They're just saying hello to you. It's so lovely. And the only thing about this time of year is it gets dark early. So I don't know what time it is where you are, but here it's about 3:25 in the afternoon. And so it's getting a little bit dark. Tell me what time it is where you are, so that I know for next time. And if you've just got up to watch, well, wow, thank you. And a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's a pleasure to have your company. And then I'm just going to build up the design here with the elements that we've just been talking about, making it as dimensional and as pretty as we possibly can. And that little butterfly, I think, can sit there. So there we go. And there's another composition. Right, there's one more thing I need to do for you before we actually need to say goodbye, and it's here. And it's a new tattered lace kit. And this is from the wonderful world of silhouettes. And the thing that I wanted to show you, there's a couple of things here, but first of all, it's about scene building, which I absolutely love. If you've managed to have one of the tattered lace, or you have a foiling machine at home, wow, this is perfect. And I just want to show you how you're going to make these frames. Now, I don't have the die with me, but the die is designed so that you can make different lengths of frames, and it's very, very easy for you to be able to follow the instructions. Not only are they on the packaging, but they're also, we're going to be showing it multiple times on the show. And that reminds me, because if there's things that you'd like to see, little video clips or little ideas, then please put your messages down here and let me see them so that I can actually make sure we try and give you everything that you want. I'm not suggesting I'm your fairy godmother, but I am suggesting I'll do everything I can to try and make it happen for you. So I think probably more of the sugar plum fairy than the fairy godmother at the moment. So I'm following the score lines that are already in the card, and these have been put in using the die itself. So let's go here. So there we are. Whoops, not quite. I've got one of them's not quite in the right place. So I'm just going to go back on itself. So if that happens, just to make sure that you get the score lines perfect, fold the cardstock both ways, forwards and backwards, and reinforce that score line, because it's so easy for them to just slide off very slightly, which that one had just done. And then there's one last score line there. Okay, they're back where they need to be now. That's going to make a big difference. So that's the shape that we're looking to create. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this piece of tape off that I've got here. And that piece of tape is going to allow me to make this box. So I'm using the edge of the table to make sure that I've got a perfect box. Just do a bit of scoring there. You can see it's nice and sharp and straight. And then the way that this assembles is each of these pieces will sit inside each other, and that then allows us to create our frame. So you can see how easy that is. And finally that one slots in there, and that one slots in there. And although it's good to glue it in place, it will actually hold its shape without any adhesive, which I think is testament to how well this all fits together. So there we go, there's the frame. But this is the exciting part of it. I've cut lots of different designs and taken one of the backing papers. And so backing paper here has got it's multiple shades of blue. It doesn't rainbow, but it gives us these lovely striations. We've got clouds and sky, and we've got the horizon, and then you can see the foreground here. So once this is in position, I've got some beautiful elements to be able to build my design. And I'm going to come right to the front with some little mushrooms, and let's put the frame at the top with our stars and our flourish, and then let's start to build the story. So we've got our king on his horse and our princess, and she's just beautiful. But then I might want to, with the frame around, so I'm going to place the frame around, put a larger, let's move those over to the side, and put a larger horse to the front. So let's move those up into the background, where it's going to be, everything's going to be a little bit smaller, and we've got room for other elements. So we're going to have the trees there, and how about we put the shadows over the top, so that tree has got a shadow coming over the silver edges. And I'd like to put some castles in the sky and have, this is just a castle right up there, such a fairy princess castle, and I'm going to lay the shadows over the top of it and just offset it slightly, so you're seeing how clever these designs look. And then again, let's do the same thing here and with our princess. And we're getting the luxury of the silhouettes and the clever design that comes here with all of these different elements. Putting the mushrooms just to the bottom to finish it off. And then I'm going to take the stars out and I'm going to place those on the top of the frame, just to bring that design together. Got a few little gnomes and some special messages once upon a time, but this is storytelling. And isn't a big part of craft telling stories? Our lives, the people we love, sending them projects. Whatever it is that you do when you're crafting, please use this as an opportunity to share. And don't forget to take those pictures out in the garden, because we really want to share both worlds. Let's bring the worlds together and enjoy the one thing that we all love, and that's getting craft.